Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another episode of Watch It in Action. I'm BouseFeenux and today we're going to be taking a look at Frost Prime. So, I've got two different builds for him on the website, and for those of you that have played Frost Prime and even taken him into endgame, you know that he's a fantastic frame with a lot of utility and team support, pretty good DPS, and he pretty much trivializes in-game content at the moment. So, let's take a look at the build. We're going to be covering, like I said, two different builds today. The first one here in my config A is a build that's based around his ability Snow Globe. So, the characteristics of this build, you're going to want a lot of range and a lot of power strength, and I'm going to show you why. So, with power strength here, power strength is going to multiply Frost's armor by at least 5 times, and it's going to add to the base health of the globe. So you can see here with enough power strength and armor, we've got 17,211 health. That's pretty awesome, and then the globe stretches for 29 meters here. And that's basically big enough to cover a cryopod and give you enough room to move around on defense missions, which is where I primarily use this build. So let's spawn some enemies, and I'll kind of show you how this reacts. We'll get some really tough guys in here. Let's do some level 90 corrupted gunners. So for those of you that have fought corrupted gunners, you know that they have very high DPS, they shoot very quickly, they do a lot of damage. I'm going to show you how this Frost Globe stands up against them. So what you can do, you can cast one globe at a time, and that's going to have that base health of, you know, whatever your armor and your power strength is. And if you cast other globes consecutively inside each other, they're going to add their health one on top of another, making that one globe stronger. You can cast multiple globes in different areas, but sometimes those get in the way, and those won't stack together. So you can see these guys are just wailing on this globe right now, and it's not really losing any health. I keep recasting it. It's a pretty efficient skill. You can keep casting it over and over again. And then another effect here, as you can see, whenever an enemy gets inside, I'm casting it again, and it just kind of throws them against the wall. When this ability was first reworked, you would be able to, there was people that were running around with Frost Globe builds that you could just throw enemies into walls and kill them instantly. So we're pretty much out of energy here. We've been casting this over and over again. This is like a situation that you'd find yourself in like a super high level mission. One of the things you can do if these Frost Globes start to get in the way, because you cannot shoot through them, you can shoot out of them, but you can't shoot through them. And one of the things you can do to get rid of them is you can cast your freeze ability, which is number 1, at the globe, which will cause it to explode and knock back any enemies in the area. Another skill at your disposal with this build that works pretty well is the avalanche skill, and that's going to be by pressing number 4. So that comes down in a huge radius, does a lot of damage. Of course not against these guys because they're extremely tanky. This is going to be a really good skill at higher levels for clearing out trash mobs and anything weaker. Another skill at your disposal, this is kind of the last really viable one for this build here, is your Ice Wave. And that just throws a cone of ice shards down in front of you that will damage enemies and slow them. So, taking a look at the next build I've got here, we'll get back up here real quick. Taking a look at the next build I've got here, this build kind of revolves around that second skill I was just using, and honestly I don't use this build too much, but it's kind of fun. It focuses around the Ice Wave impedance augment here, and that Ice Wave is going to slow enemies that walk through it, making them really easy to pick off. So you can see here this is kind of different than the Frost Globe build. We've got a lot of duration now because Frost's freeze ability, whenever he freezes something, like with Avalanche, it reduces their armor for a certain period of time, and the longer your duration, the longer it's going to allow you to have that armor reduction on them. And it also increases the length that this Frost Trail lingers on the ground. So I'm going to show you how that looks with this build real quick. Let's get down there, we'll spawn some enemies, and then we'll check it out. So we're just going to use some melee units here. We're just going to spawn some Corrupted Butchers real quick. I can give you guys an idea of how this works. But yeah, essentially you just get in, attract a bunch of enemies to you, they'll start running to you in a line, throw it on that Ice Wave, and then they start moving really slowly. They're super easy to pick off, so I can just get headshots at my leisure here. And that'll last for a pretty decent amount of time, allow you to get in there. You can still use your Frost Globe if you get into trouble, or your Avalanche. It's not going to do as much damage as it would with more power strength. Also, the armor reduction isn't going to be as high with lower power strength. But like I said, this build kind of focuses on the Ice Wave skill, which is kind of fun to play around with. There are a lot of different ways to build Frost, a lot of different things you can do with him. Like I said, he's a really versatile frame. He's got a lot of different niches he can fill. amazing all-around frame. You really can't go wrong with playing him. I know the Frost Globe build is good for defenses, but I use it in survivals all the time. He's got great survivability while he's standing inside that globe, but these are the two builds on the website. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I'd like to see what you guys can do coming up with some of your own Frost builds and different ways to play him. But until the next video, thank you guys so much, and have a good one.